On a forgotten world, an ancient volcano awakens, unleashing a torrent of fire and fury.
Captain Arya Nguyen and her elite team, the Vanguard, have only one critical mission today.
Deep within the vehicle, Dr. Sato and Zoe Park monitor the precious cargo, the last dragon eggs.
But the volcano's eruption has awakened something else. A colossal guardian of the fiery mountain.
The creature descends with incredible speed. Its only instinct is to protect its volcanic domain.
The fireball collides with the energy shield in a spectacular and blinding flash of light.
The crew braces inside. The vehicle's integrity holds, but they know the next attack is coming.
Ahead, the ground splits open, revealing a bottomless chasm. There is no turning back now.
Only one path forward.
Pushing the vehicle's core to its absolute limit, the thrusters ignited with blinding, raw power.
For a brief, terrifying moment, the Terracrawler was no longer a ground vehicle, but a vessel flying over fire. But their airborne escape did not go unnoticed. The Predator saw its chance and took it. Inside, the mission's precious cargo, the last dragon eggs, were subjected to the extreme forces. The blow sent them spiraling, turning their desperate jump into an uncontrolled crash landing.
The crew fought to regain control as critical systems screamed in protest from the brutal impact.
They had survived the chasm, only to find themselves in a new, more treacherous environment.
The chasm could not stop it. The hunter had crossed, and the chase was far from over.
With no other choice, they plunged into the shimmering maze, hoping its corridors would hide them.
But the crystals had a strange energy, interfering with their systems and turning their guide into static.
The hunter did not need a map. It followed a scent of pure instinct and burning rage.
Its roar sent a shockwave through the cavern, turning the beautiful crystals into a resonating, deadly trap.
They were now racing not just the monster, but the collapsing environment it had enraged. Through it all, the eggs remained their priority, a fragile hope nestled within the storm. Lyra saw a chance not to escape, but to use the cavern's instability against their pursuer.
The cascade was immense, a calculated rock slide that bought them precious, fleeting seconds of safety.
But for a creature born of the planet's fire and rage, rock was merely a momentary inconvenience.
The chase resumed with terrifying speed, a frantic race between advanced technology and raw, primordial power.
Realizing it could not catch them on foot, the beast unleashed a torrent of its own molten essence.
The pilot's skill was their only defense, pushing the advanced vehicle to its absolute structural limits. The missed attack had a catastrophic side effect, breaching the cavern wall and unleashing the planet's fiery blood.
Now they were trapped, with an unstoppable monster behind them, and a raging river of lava beside them. With no other choice, they activated the thermal shields, a last desperate gamble to protect their precious cargo.
The vehicle's outer hull glowed red hot as it scraped against the heat of the encroaching lava flow. Ahead, the path simply ended, giving way to a chasm of unknown depth and impossible width. With the monster closing in and the lava sealing their retreat, the only way forward was across.
There was only one chance, a desperate, last-ditch maneuver that had never been attempted before. Engaging the boosters required diverting all non-essential power, a massive and dangerous energy overload. To gain enough speed for the impossible jump, they had to drive directly toward the beast. The creature, mistaking their gambit for a final, foolish act of defiance, prepared to strike. With a deafening roar of its own, the terror crawler rocketed forward, a blur of motion. It dodged the monster's fiery breath by inches, swerving at the very last second. And then, with all systems pushed beyond their limits, they soared into the abyss.
Inside, the precious cargo, cradled by inertial dampeners, remained perfectly still and safe. From the chasm's depths, it was a shooting star, crossing a vast, subterranean night.
But as the boosters sputtered, they realized the terrifying truth. They weren't going to make it.
With no other option, they activated the last-ditch emergency system, praying it would be enough. Massive magnetic anchors fired from the hull, screaming towards the sheer rock face of the chasm.
They bit deep into the ancient stone, a brutal, last-second connection between survival and the abyss. The sudden jolt was violent, throwing them against their restraints as the vehicle hung suspended. They were safe from the fall, but now they were trapped, dangling helplessly in the darkness.
It was then they heard it, a low, guttural rumble that was not made by machinery. From the chasm's heart, the very reason for their perilous journey revealed its terrible form. Its eyes, like twin pools of molten rock, locked onto the fragile prize hanging before it.
The great beast drew a breath, its throat glowing with the promise of an unstoppable inferno. A torrent of liquid fire erupted from its jaws, turning the entire cavern into a blazing inferno.
With reflexes born of desperation, the middle-aged African-American male pilot threw the vehicle into a hard, screeching power slide.
Responding to the danger, the eggs projected a shimmering dome of pure, protective energy around them.
The inferno crashed against the arcane shield, a cataclysmic collision of raw power and ancient magic.
Though the shield held, the sheer force of the blast left the terror crawler scorched and shuddering. Stunned by their survival, the Fire Raptor let out a frustrated roar that shook the very mountains. But the hunter was relentless, leaping from the cam wall to begin its terrifying pursuit anew.
With the monstrous predator hot on their tail, the pilot pushed the terror crawler's engine past its safety limits.
The beast unleashed a torrent of molten rock from its throat, attempting to block their path forward.
Inside, the co-pilot struggled to stabilize the precious cargo against the violent, jarring movements of the chase.
The chase's violent tremors began to shake the very foundations of the ancient, unstable cavern.
But what was a deadly obstacle for the crawler was merely a minor inconvenience for the relentless monster. The beast closed the distance, its razor-sharp talons scraping against the vehicle's reinforced armor plating.
With no other options, the co-pilot activated the crawler's last line of defense, a kinetic energy pulse.
The resulting shockwave erupted outwards, momentarily blasting the colossal predator away from the vulnerable vehicle.
This was their chance, the one precious moment they had to reach the archway and secure their escape.
The terror crawler devoured the ground,
its engines screaming as it closed the final distance to safety.
But the enraged Fire Raptor would not be denied its prize, its fury burning hotter than ever. With a deafening shriek, it unleashed a torrent of molten fire, a desperate final attack.
The fire slammed into the rock above, creating a deadly curtain of melting stone and lava. The pilot masterfully weaved through the cascading debris, the gateway now just meters away from them.
With a final, desperate push, the Terra Crawler breached the shimmering energy field of the ancient gateway.
The Raptor lunged, its massive talons scraping against the stone, inches from the escaping vehicle.
They had made it. On the other side, a serene, hidden world unfolded before their eyes.
Every plant and fungus seemed to pulse with a gentle, living light, creating a symphony of color.
Inside, the eggs were unharmed, pulsing gently with a soft, warm, and reassuring inner light.
The gateway was sealed forever, a silent monument to the fiery world they had left behind. A crystal-clear river flowed through the cavern, its waters shimmering with the same living energy.
Here, in this hidden sanctuary, the eggs would be safe. Here, a new generation could be born. The very air of the cavern seemed to welcome them, resonating with the life within the eggs.
For the first time in a long time, the weary travelers could finally rest and breathe.
But the cavern held more secrets, and their new responsibility was about to awaken. A silent understanding passed between them. The eggs needed warmth and a safer place. Ancient glyphs on the cavern walls spoke of a hidden sanctuary, a nursery of light.
With renewed purpose, they carefully gathered the precious eggs and chose their path forward. The passage hummed with a strange, melodic energy, guiding them deeper into the unknown.
The eggs responded to the river, creating a bridge of pure, solidified light for them. On the other side, they found what the ancient glyphs had promised them all along. A hidden garden, bathed in soft light, a perfect cradle for the future of dragons.
With gentle hands and hopeful hearts, they carried the future into its new, protected home.
The sanctuary accepted the gift, pulsing with an ancient energy that had long been dormant.
They had brought more than just eggs. They had brought hope back to this forgotten place.
And in the warmth of that magical light, the promise of a new beginning started to break through.
Soon, one crack became many, a symphony of life. The heroes watched, their perilous journey rewarded with the most magical sight they had ever witnessed.
It was a bond forged in fire and shadow, now sealed in the